I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty. Yeah.
Right after Teleferro, Mr. Teleferro TV. How's everybody doing? First and foremost, thank y'all for the love y'all been showing me and my channel. What are we at? About 26,000 and some change right now. Remember, we got a goal of 100K by the end of this year. I sat back yesterday and I knew this story. Listen, Mr. Teleferro is always in tune to what's going on, especially in sports. I might slack off in that hip hop world, in that music world, but don't get me wrong. When it comes to sports, I'm always in tune with what's going on, right? I sat back and listened yesterday, and I listened to Maverick Carter, LeBron James's long friend, manager, everything with the team, with him, Rich Paul. Salute to them brothers doing great with the platform. I sat back and listened to this whole LeBron James and Phil Jackson. I don't want to call it a saga. I don't think it's that big, but just, I guess, a disagreement between the two on a language that Phil Jackson used. And just moments ago, my brother, one of my closest friends, shout out to BJ, he sent me an article and he brought it back up to me. And I wasn't going to do nothing on it because I was kind of indifferent about it. But I felt the need to do it today because I went back and read the language and I went back and just looked over some things again. And I said it's important. If I represent something, I got to represent things. And when it's LeBron James, I'm going to be honest with y'all. LeBron James is usually in the right when he does something. And I want you to keep this in mind. LeBron James does not comment on corny stuff. That man has enough issues. That man gets insulted by enough people daily. Trust me, LeBron James does not want to be dealing with corny stuff from corny people. With that being said, I'm going to cue up Phil Jackson's comments in regards to LeBron James. And I'm going to tell you pretty much my opinions on it shortly. I'm going to give you the whole spill. All right? I'm going to give you the dynamics. This is what Phil Jackson said about LeBron James. Pretty much, he was asked a question by, I believe, ESPN did this interview with him. And Phil Jackson was pretty much asked about LeBron James and his tenure in Miami. And this is what Phil said. Cue up my tweet. All right, when LeBron was playing with the Heat, they went to Cleveland. And they wanted to spend the night. They don't do overnights. Teams just don't. So now Eric Spoelstra, the coach of the Miami Heat, has to text Riley and say, what do I do in this situation? And Pat, who has the iron fist rule, answers, you are on the plane. You are with this team. You can't hold up the team because you and your mom and your posse, let me read that sentence one more time for somebody who didn't get it. You are with this team. You can't hold up the whole team because you and your mom and your posse, words of Phil Jackson, want to spend an extra night in Cleveland. I always thought that Pat had this really nice vibe with the guys, but something happened there where it broke down. I do know LeBron likes his special treatment. He needs things his way. No, I'm not going to go in yet. I want y'all to remember that word posse, all right? It's going to mean something in this blog. It's going to mean something, all right? Now, Maverick Carter. And I want to put this in perspective again if you didn't get me the first time. Maverick Carter, Rich Paul, even LeBron James. They don't go to Twitter to comment on every rumor about LeBron James' life, about their business relationships with LeBron James, about the business that they have going, about getting Ben Simmons or getting Tristan Thompson. They don't do that. That's just not how they rock. They don't get on Twitter about J.R. Smith's contract negotiations or this and that. They handle themselves like men. That's what they've been since LeBron's been in the league for upwards of, 9, 10 years. These guys have handled themselves like men. LeBron's been in the league for 14 years now. He's been nothing but a man in this league. Honestly, his life, the way he's handled situations he's been dealt, and the class that he's personified, LeBron has handled himself like a man. All right, I want to go to Maverick Carter's Twitter now and shout out to NBA The Jump, Rachel Nichols and company, Steven Jackson and Mal Hassan for the coverage that they did on this as well. It was great. All right, I want to keep it moving to Maverick Carter's tweet. All the hard work, effort, and achievement, and Phil Jackson still calls us a posse. Every step you take, they remind you ghetto. That was the words of Sharon Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z, from some lyrics that Maverick Carter used. Then I want you to look at the definition of the word posse. All right, we're going to read it together. Read it together like we're in church. A body of men typically armed, summoned by a sheriff to enforce the law. Let me say this too. Maverick Carter said, let me be clear. I'm not saying Phil Jackson is erasing. I'm calling him out on his disrespectful language, all right? Should I play this clip of what LeBron James... I'm going to leave the clip out of it, honestly, just because of copyright infringement. I ain't trying to get into it with the NBA. I'm straight, all right? I'm going to sum up what LeBron said. Look, man, it's like pretty much all the hard work you've done in the league. Me and my team have handled ourselves nothing but like men, like what I said earlier, and they still find ways to show us that African Americans aren't equal. That's pretty much what LeBron James said in his presser yesterday pre-game, all right? Now I'm going to bring some more context to this. It was reported that this was 2 years ago around Thanksgiving, 2 or 3 years ago when LeBron was in Miami, because the Heat played Toronto the next night, and the next night, LeBron's team would have had to eat Thanksgiving food in a hotel in Canada. I don't think, outside of Tristan Thompson, I don't believe anybody on that team has Canada ties. Well, what we talking about, the Heat? Nobody on that team had Canada ties. That 2000, yeah, we talking about the Heat, my bad. Nobody on that team had Canada ties. With that being said, LeBron just wanted to get the team in his crib in Akron, since they were in Cleveland, to eat Thanksgiving food with LeBron James and his family so the team wouldn't have to eat on the road in a hotel. What's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with that. It's still a perception. And this is why I didn't want to get into this yesterday, because I was like, man, sometimes I do believe our players are too soft. Kobe Bryant wouldn't have got offended by that tone. He would have probably joked it off. Michael Jordan wouldn't have got offended by Phil Jackson's tone. He would have joked it off. But then I sat back and thought about it. Nope, you got to start commenting on stuff like this because it ain't right. I'm going to go at Phil Jackson pretty tough. Bear with me, guys. Phil Jackson, first and foremost, using the word posse, it definitely demonstrates a language that Maverick Carter and Rich Paul, I'm going to be honest with you, instead of using the word posse, to me, what I got from it, LeBron got his niggas LeBron and his niggas and his mom trying to hold up what you can't do with a team. All right? That's what I got from that. That's what I got for that. I replaced posse with niggas because that's what it feels like. Phil Jackson is undermining LeBron James' team, their power, their cliche. What's the famous NFL agent, Rich Paul or something, Drew Paul, whatever, Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus, that's his name. You wouldn't have called him a posse. If Des Bryant had him, his agent, if they wanted to stay somewhere, you wouldn't have called him a posse because that's a white man in a position of power. You don't do that. Phil Jackson doesn't respect the power that Rich Paul and Maverick Carter have. With that being said, maybe he should. Maverick Carter and Rich Paul and LeBron James' team have put together some nice acquisitions. Tristan Thompson, Max Dollar, they got him that. Ben Simmons, when he does decide to play, he's going to command Max Dollar and a lot of endorsements because he's a pretty boy, light-skinned face. We get it. All right? Ben Simmons, if his game correlates on the court, that's one of their representatives. All right? With that being said, I'm going to make this clear. The tone Phil Jackson used was just stupid, and I don't even think he noticed it. It's so normal to people to be disrespectful to us. I don't even think a lot of people notice it. We got to start calling out on that because that's not a posse. You look at Maverick Carter, Rich Paul, the moves they made, those are not posse. Those are men who would come in and negotiate with you the highest dollar for the age. I'm gonna tell you what people get upset about. What LeBron James and his team have did, and since he's been in the league, have done it since he's been in the league. They've changed the landscape of the NBA. Period. He spoke up in ways Kobe Bryant couldn't speak up. He spoke up, and I'm not saying Kobe Bryant didn't have the power to do it. Kobe Bryant just went about a lot of things the wrong ways. Allen Iverson didn't have the power to do it because at the end of the day, Allen Iverson was stuck on stupid in a lot of situations. LeBron James has changed the way we negotiated. Players are no longer leaving that money on the table to go. I don't want to say they're leaving money on the table because the Miami Heat, they unselfishly left money on the table to be together. But with that being said, around the league, if you look around, players are maxing out. Like the Miami Heat, they did it that one time. But if you look around, players are maxing out for the money that they believe that they deserve. They're looking at these TV deals, all these brands endorsing the NBA. It's time to get paid. LeBron James, if you remember, was the one back in, 2010? 2008? Something like that. I can't remember the years, but it was LeBron James who told D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, we all came in together, don't go sign a 5-year deal. You'll limit yourself because that CBA deal, once it comes into effect, y'all going to be able to go get more money. Go sign a 3-year deal. Now, LeBron James told that to at least 3 people. Only 2 of them listened. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. That's what led Carmelo Anthony to the role he's down with the New York Knicks. I'm going to get on Carmelo in a minute because I'm going to bring him up in this blog specifically. That's what led him down that road, all right? With that being said, I'm going to say this. LeBron wanted to play with Carmelo Anthony more than he wanted to play with Chris Bosh. He was helping out Chris Bosh, giving him maximum flexibility. He just looked up and seen that D-Wade and Chris Bosh were going to be both free agents, so let's make it happen with us 3. LeBron, I'm telling you right now, wanted to play with Carmelo Anthony and D-Wade. That's what the team he wanted to be. That's what the big 3 he was, with LeBron playing the 4, Melo playing the 3. That's what LeBron James wanted. But Carmelo Anthony, which brings me to my next point, didn't do that. So Phil Jackson, you're mad because LeBron James and his team carry themselves as a business, which LeBron James, people, if you don't know it or not, LeBron James is a brand. He's not just a basketball player. This is a brand. And his team are making their own brands because of LeBron James' success. It takes a team. Trust me, I'm finding that out the hard way. All right? With that being said, Phil, and I'm going to break this down for people. Phil, you mad at LeBron James for trying to create more chemistry with the team, doing Thanksgiving dinner, which is a chemistry builder? Anytime you get black men, anytime you get individuals, period, to sit down at a table, either you going to mess something up or you going to bring something together. And a Thanksgiving dinner is one of the most important times for families to come together and to embrace each other. And that Miami Heat team didn't have the luxury of having their wives and their families and their kids with them. So the next best thing is to be with your family in a home, in a home environment to at least feel like Thanksgiving. With that being said, you mad at LeBron for doing that. I'm going to tell you who ain't doing that, though. Carmelo Anthony, your star player. Your star player isn't doing those things, and maybe that defines why the team that he currently is on and the teams that Carmelo has been on have not had success. And I don't want to just keep taking shots at Carmelo Anthony because I think he's a great individual, great person. But he ain't going above and beyond to do the things LeBron James is doing. Melo's mind is in real estate. Melo's mind is somewhere else. He ain't doing all the shit that LeBron James is doing to build chemistry, all right? With that being said, Phil Jackson, maybe you should be encouraging your players and trying to take an extra day to stay in this city to build chemistry if you can make a shot. Because your players lack the chemistry that LeBron James teams have had. Put that in perspective. And Phil Jackson, you need to watch out with what you're doing because LeBron James commands a lot of power in that NBA. And around the league, players respect LeBron James. You got my word on that. You already dug yourself in a hole making $12 million a year to do absolutely nothing. You try to shut up the New York fans. I told y'all then, and I'm going to tell y'all now, I seen right through that bullshit. I told you, what did I like about what the New York Knicks did this offseason? I like the fact that they brought in Joakim Noah, and I like the fact that they brought in Courtney Lee. All this Derrick Rose talk, the man's name is bigger than his game at this point in his career. That was just a name to shut up Knicks fans. Oh, he brought Rose to the Garden. Well, Rose don't translate into wins. His game hasn't translated into wins for the last 4 years now. Hell, he's barely been able to stay on the court. I have given Phil Jackson credit for the acquisition of drafting Kristaps Porzingis, I think that young boy can be a star. But outside of that, Phil Jackson, you've done absolutely nothing. As a matter of damn fact, I don't think the New York Knicks have had a winning season yet. And as a matter of damn fact, last time I checked in the Eastern Conference standings, the New York Knicks don't even have a winning record right now. As a matter of damn fact, the New York Knicks haven't had a winning record since Phil Jackson. Matter of fact, if you want to take this a step further, no free agent has strongly considered the New York Knicks since Phil Jackson. Not a big name. LaMarcus Aldridge. Did y'all even get a meeting? I think y'all barely got a meeting. Kevin Durant, he was never thinking about going to your team. What free agent has really thought about and strongly considered? And all the misses you guys have had since you've been in a position of power, and you only making your things worse, Phil Jackson, using the words like posse. And maybe he didn't mean anything by it from a standpoint. He didn't know he meant something by it. But I'm going to tell you this. That kind of tone, and y'all can believe me or you can take me for granted. I know what the hell I'm talking about. That kind of tone and that behavior symbolizes why players don't want to sign with organizations such as the Knicks, because people in power, the Phil Jacksons of the world just don't get it. They live in this world where they think they're the most important thing and the players are not. All right, Pat Riley. All right, Phil Jackson. Y'all keep living in that world if y'all want to. The NBA is a players' league. This is not the NFL. The players run this damn league. The LeBron Jameses of the world bring the money to your organization. All right? With that being said, you in the NFL, you can be like the Cowboys. They'll be here before and after Dez Bryant. Well, in the NBA, after LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavs might not be around. If they can't financially find players that can you can put together on the court and have success, they might not be around. This is not the NFL. This is a player-driven league, Phil Jackson, and you are doing a terrible job of getting the best talents on your team. Now, let's talk about that. Now, you and your posse need to do a better job of getting free agents into New York. How about that, you and your posse, if you want to talk about posses? All right, and now let me tell me how that feels. Phil Jackson lives in a world where Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordans, that's just who they are. And I have nothing against those two athletes because they are great. They were great on the court, hard-working individuals. Phil Jackson, wake up. It is a new day and age. And, yes, sometimes these athletes be divas. With that being said, you got to cater to these athletes because there are teams around this league. There are the Bombers of the world with the Clippers who are doing whatever it takes in these organizations, and they're putting Doc Rivers in position of power. They're doing whatever it takes to grab these free agents, all right? The Steve Kerrs of the world are doing whatever it takes to sign free agents in the offseason. So with that being said, Phil Jackson, maybe you need to look in your mirror and apologize to LeBron James and his team. All right, I know I gave y'all a lot. Alfred Telefero, Mr. Telefero TV, thank you for the time, love, and support. I don't take it for granted. Make sure you comment on this blog. I go by the name of Alfred Telefero. Salute. I'm out. Hey, first and foremost, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love if you watch other videos while you're on my YouTube channel. Now, while you're here, people ask me all the time, how can you support Mr. Telefero? Well, if you want to support me in my future endeavors, the first thing I want you to do is subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe to my channel, you get all my content first. Your subscribe goes a long way. I get to understand my demographics, understand who support me, who got something out this video. So first things first, a subscribe will go a long ways. Next, if you really rock with me, donate $1 to my GoFundMe. I have a GoFundMe link in the description. If you really want to support me, just $1. Showing me $1 and some good wishes will go a long way. If you want to support me and you want to help me with my travels, I got a lot of things coming up, but I got to get them travel fees there. I got to find a way to get there, so that can help me financially if you really want to go there. Also, a word of encouragement. Thank you. Whatever it is, talk to me in my comment box below. Comment on this video, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do this video. I got to thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. My name is Mr. Telefero. Now, if you subscribe, help, donate, do whatever, you can see more videos like this, more new exclusive content. I got a lot on the way. Trust me. Thank you. It's MrTelefero.com.